Imagine, if you will, at the dawn of time, when time began, when the world was created or recreated, life itself came down, or from above, and filled this world. It filled this world with energy, with spirit, with life. Now that's where we're going to go from here. This video is not for any Plants vs. Zombies games or anything like that. But we will be talking about the real life implication of Plants vs. Zombies. I'm super sorry, like, I just put some eye drops in my eyes and now I feel like I look like I've been crying. I have not. But anyways, let's talk about Plants vs. Zombies, right? Some people have heard me talk about the plasma apocalypse and the zombie apocalypse portion of that, but not a lot of people really talk about the plant apocalypse, if you will, the plant portion of it. So I want to combine the two, since there is the popular game Plants vs. Zombies. I believe that everything in our world talks to us, sends us messages, little breadcrumbs of truth. And what's up to everybody in the chat too? Lisa Post was the first person today. Says, happy, beautiful evening, all you beautiful, amazing, creative, unique individual sparks. Thank you, Lisa. All right, so let's get right into it. Zombies. I'm going to save zombies for last. Zombies are too easy. Like, for me, they're just too easy. I want to talk about the plants first. And by the way, I actually have some images, believe it or not, that I'm going to pull up to go right along with this. So bear with me and I'll pull those up here. Boom. Is that it? Oh, wait. Is it that one? Nope. Is it that one? Nope. Oh, I know how to do it. Okay. One second. I'm just pulling up the pictures here. Slideshow. Here we go. Booyah! Okay, sweet. Thank you so much for your patience. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is what we know, okay? When talking about, hey, awaken reality, travel through time to join the Good Vibe Tribe. Awaken reality. Hey, by the way, Awaken reality actually has a sweet YouTube channel. So please do go check out his channel. So I was actually just watching one of his videos. Anyways, so let's get into the plants. Okay, I want to talk about the plants. Plants today, right? Specifically, we're going to be talking about carnivorous plants, okay? Because how is a plant going to kill a zombie unless it's carnivorous, right? So we're going to talk about the carnivorous portion of it. Just keep in mind that I'm not only going to be saying that the world's going to be only full of carnivorous plants that are only trying to kill and eat people. Not what I'm saying. Am I saying it's going to be a big part of it? I think so. All right, so this right here is a Venus flytrap. Like, I wanted one. I had one. I had a few of them so bad. I wanted one so bad when I was in high school. And like growing up, I had to have a Venus flytrap. I didn't understand it. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know why these plants are eating things, why they're eating meat, you know. Which, by the way, this is going to be a huge, interesting flip for all you vegetarians and vegans out there once we get a little closer to the end. But yeah, carnivorous plants. Plants that eat animals, meat, bugs, insects, all kinds of stuff. And right on. Let me find my pictures here. Okay, so basically we've got plants in our world today. During the plasma apocalypse, our world fills up with energy or spirit or life from above and from within the earth itself, right? For more information about that, please check out my my website or some of my prior videos on the plasma apocalypse. So anyways, imagine our world filling up with energy, okay? Power, sustenance, spirit, whatever you like to call it, it fills up with it. Right now, you can tell it's depleted, can't you? I can. I can feel it. I can sense it in myself. I mean, why else do we sleep for 1/3 of our life right now? We're depleted of energy. We don't have any energy. There's spiritless life forms out there that are just human-looking in nature, bouncing from place to place, taking orders from their programs and televisions. Anyways, hey, who just joined? Look, check that out. JJ. Hey, what's up, JJ? Brought some magic to the Good Vibe Tribe. Good to have you. Thanks for joining, JJ, and for supporting my work. All right, so I want to talk about the plants, okay? Basically, in a nutshell, here's what happens. There are plants that are carnivorous in our world today, okay? They're specifically designed to eat meat, Okay? They don't just suck up all the water and they just live off the earth and the sun rays or whatever. Yes, some plants do that. However, there are other plants in our world that do not. They are alien-like in nature and strange and anomalous, right? These types of plants remind me, I wanted to put that in there. These are not in any particular order, so I'm just going to kind of flip through these. Yeah, Alice in Wonderland. So this is one of the things. This is the post-apocalyptic world. Okay, it's not that Alice is all of a sudden changed in her size. She's still the same size she always has been. The world around her has become a wonderland that grows in size. The plant life, the flora, the fauna, all grow inside. I am Karen. Hey you. Hey, what's up you? Thank you for your donation. I don't know why it pops up on my screen. It should pop up down here at the same time. Whoosh. But anyway, she is not tiny, okay? She's normal sized, as she always has been, but the world around her, the flora and fauna and animal life, all life around her has become gigantic. Why? Because something happened to change the conditions of life in the world around her. I am Carrie, gets the tardigrade, the electric tardigrade, and fed the jelly. Thank you so much. Splashed the jelly, fed the jelly, I don't know. Thank you, either way. So basically, this is what happens. All life in our world grows. It becomes gigantic. Now, that includes all forms of life, including these types of carnivorous plants, right? This one right here is called a pitcher plant, one of the many names that it goes by, and it emits like a sweet-smelling liquid that attracts, life. And so the life goes in to check it out. The life falls in because the edges are super slippery, and the inside is basically a little vat of acid, and it digests the animal or the insect or the meat, whatever you want to call it. Dude, you're meat. I'm just saying. So, in this world, after the plasma apocalypse, everything grows and it gets gigantic. Why do we ever assume that things have to always have been the same size that they are today, right? They're not, and they haven't been. It's just that we don't give much focus to the way things once were. Look at the redwoods. Look at the sequoias. Just as two examples, popular trees. I'm actually going to talk about some man-eating trees here in a bit. So anyways, here's what happens. Our world fills up with energy, okay? Our world fills up with life. The survivors, you and I, many of us adults, have kind of sort of already reached our maximum in growth. We may get a little bigger, sure. However, those born into this world will have no pressure or way less pressure and a way weakened gravitational field, if you will. When everything charges back up, the gravity that holds us down is going to be far less. So those people and those beings that are born into that world will get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, which is why if you go back in, the Bible or the Quran and Kabbalistic teachings, they talk about how like Adam and Eve were giants, how Noah was a giant. Actually, there's an interesting story about Noah where it says that he was about 15 feet tall and he had to jump up another 15 feet just to hit King Og, a titan, in his Achilles tendon, basically, to bring him down. So the whole world grows to be gigantic after the plasma apocalypse because our world is inundated with energy, right? Not just from above, not just the red plasma that comes down and fills up our world and then it's cut off. That's the symbolism in the fingers being cut off in movies, hands being cut off. That's the plasma. It's symbolic of the spirit energy, the life being cut off, basically. So there's also the blue plasma that shoots up from above. The blue plasma is not cut off. It continues to flow like a fountain of life for an eon until the next age. And that fills our world with energy and spirit and life. And not only that, but new chemicals are being created, fresh air, brand new oxygen, all kinds of other things that add to our growth collectively. So the plants grow. All of the plants grow. Now think about this. Plants growing, we see them, right? Everyone knows plants move. It's just that we feel that they move so slowly that we don't pay much attention to them because not a lot of people, sadly, talk to plants. Not a lot of people pay attention to plants. They just kind of look at them and, whatever. Which makes sense. You don't really see it moving. You don't really see it growing. You don't really see it talking or doing what it does. I do. And I do see plants move, okay? Now, on this small scale, with this minimal energy, plants are moving slowly, trying to move in certain directions. Not all of them, mind you. There's always exceptions and anomalies to everything. But when those plants become huge and the world is full of energy, they may just move a bit faster than what we are used to. And that's going to take me into some of these plants right here. This is the, what do you call it? The Venus flytrap, right? So the Venus flytrap, it's got big old teeth and stuff. It will close up. Basically, it's got little hairs on it, and it just lays out, waits for something to walk over it, and then it grabs it. It senses it, right? Which is going to be a reoccurring plant theme. And if you pay attention, these are actually notes on how to be careful and be cautious and survive men-eating plants, okay? Plants that might not be searching for men or women in particular, but plants that just can't help themselves to wrap around the nearest object or to ingest it in some cases. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, see, check that out. See, a lot of these plants, once they catch their prey, they take them in. They bring them in and they digest them. That's the way a lot of them work. They don't teach us a lot about these different kinds of man-eating plants. Now, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes is sort of twofold symbolism. One, dangerous plants, dangerous large plants. It's not, see, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes is not about regular sized tomatoes, right? They're never regular sized. Not like, I mean, there may have been some episodes where they're regular sized, but for the most part, they're gigantic tomatoes, okay? This is symbolism in pop culture that comes from and stems from our collective subconscious, where we understand these things. We know them. We just don't have the left brain side of the information. We only have the right brain feelings. We have those spirit memories of a time long gone when huge orbs of light slowly moved about from place to place, or smaller forms, and we called them spirits or whatever it is. And then there was also a time when vegetables and plants and all kinds of things, trees and stuff, were posed a possible danger because of our size and because of their size. They're way larger than us. Let me give you some more examples. The piranha plant joins the battle, right? I like this one. Hey, who's that? I am Karen, fed the jelly, $5. Thank you. I love talking to plants, and we love Venus flytraps. I love Venus flytraps. Check this out. This is in the world today. Look at the size of these pumpkins. That's just under the right circumstances, the right conditions in our world, and all of a sudden objects start growing to crazy sizes where we don't really ponder those sizes and why the plant is trying to grow to be that large. We just get giddy and excited like kids about it, right? Oh, look at the large plants. Plants can and do grow to be gigantic. This right here is not even a gigantic example. This is an onion, believe it or not, I believe. This is an onion. This is a small form, okay? These are plants that are trying to reach their potential, right? What they're used to. The genetics can't even hide what has happened in our past. It's coded in there somewhere. And from time to time, there's an anomaly that remembers. Plants are going to grow to be gigantic. Here's an example of an existing plant in our world today. Let me make it a little bigger. Let's see if can I do that? Can I do it without messing it up? Let's find out. I believe in me. There's always a way. And there's always more than one way. Booyah. Jeez, it still goes up higher than that. Look at that thing. Oh my gosh. Jeez. All right, so check this guy out, right? Or girl, whatever it is. Check it out. Boom. Look at the person right there. This is a gigantic plant, okay? That is just doing plant things, and if you happen to walk into it or stumble into it and it's the wrong circumstance, the plant may inadvertently suffocate you or take you out or ingest you purposefully. Who knows, right? But this is just an example of the size that plants have the potential to getting to today. In our world today, under these crazy, stressful, pressurized conditions of our world, that's possible. Imagine what's possible in the world to come, right around the corner. Or what has always been in our past, right? We have these myths and legends and things we've talked about. This one is a gigantic cabbage. I believe that's a cabbage, okay? I'm just going to kind of scroll through some of these. Oh, this is sweet. Okay, so now let's get into attacking plants, all right? So this is from Poltergeist, I believe. This is a scene in the movie when the tree itself actually just reaches out and grabs them. Now, let's separate the story form from the reality. Let's just assume that there's nothing new under the sun, and that this movie scene has to have come from somewhere at some point in time, some sort of truth that stemmed into this movie scene. I'm not talking about truth as in like some psychological, well, it could represent, to me it's just kind of like a person mentally. No, I'm talking about actually physically really happening. This is really happening. Now, is it a big, mean, evil tree that's just looking for these kids and stuff? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a quickly growing branch or something that has its genetic code that says when you feel something, wrap around it so you can move about and grow and this and that, right? I don't know. I'm just speculating. But I doubt. I don't know. It could be a totally possessed tree. I don't know. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh, these are kind of cool too. Let me see if I can move these about. These are some stamps that came out. You got the Venus flytrap, the pitcher plant, or the yellow trumpet it's called. That one is called, oh, you know what that one is? Way over there, that snake looking one? It's called, it's named after a snake. A cobra? Some kind of cobra plant or something like that, right? Oh my God, that one, I'll show you another picture of it. Hold on. And then there's a sticky plant. I don't know what that one's called. But anyways, they all eat stuff. There's your zombies. Brains. Hey, check this out. You ever wonder, because I'm going to talk about zombies too, but you ever wonder, like, if zombies want brains, don't zombies have brains? Why aren't they eating each other? I will be sharing, for those of you who are watching, just a little secret. I'm going to be sharing my newest part of my website. I'm super proud of it. It's the zombie apocalypse. So we're going to actually reference that when we talk about zombies here in a bit. But yeah, brains. They have brains. Like, it might be messed up brains. What are they, picky? Are they picky about the kind of brains they're eating? Like, come on. Not only that, but I don't know. Anyways, I could go on all day about that. We'll come back to zombies, all right? Not just plants. Special effects credits. Hey, look at you. Welcome. You're going to get a little song. Not just plants that attack. Not just plants that attack. Not just carnivorous plants. Welcome back, Mother Dragon. But plants that talk. Plants that sing. Sounds ridiculous, right? Does it? Have you ever heard of the mandrake? The mandrake is a plant that has many properties that it's used for. Many uses, you could say. But it's also rumored to make sound when it's cut, as if it feels it. Now, a lot of plants have actually been recorded. They've taken instruments and stuff to plants, which blows my mind. How can you imagine? Let's just say we came to the conclusion that all plants were just as sentient as we are. Some of us have already come to that conclusion, but that's fine. And then all of a sudden, these plants, these poor little plants, are being hooked up to all these machines and stuff with all these electrodes all over them. And then, like, somebody will cut off one of their fingers. And then they'll go, yeah, or whatever, like however plants scream or whatever. And then it'll make a little register, like an earthquake, on their little machine. And they'll go, wow, interesting. It's almost as if the plant could feel the limb being cut off. Or like they'll play messed up music, like hardcore screaming music. And the plants will be like, ah. And they'll be like, wow, it's almost like the plant likes classical instead. Like, yeah, no kidding. Anyway, so yes, talking plants. As a part of, it's not just the plants will talk the way we're used to speaking and communicating in our day-to-day, but plants speak. The whole world speaks if you have the ability to look, to listen, to see it, to recognize it, to pay attention to it, right? The whole world is talking to us. Plants are also talking to us, I believe. And with the influx of energy that comes into our world, this may allow, and I believe probably will allow, for telepathy. Not just between humans. It's not like, oh, I'm a human, so if anyone's getting telepathy, it's me, and just me, because I'm a human. No. Like, everything's getting telepathy. Animals are getting telepathy. And maybe it's not that they're getting it. It's that you and your aura are extending out because your energy is on overdrive, because so is the rest of the world's. So your aura naturally reaches out to connect with that of others, and you instantly sense their thoughts or their feelings or their expressions or their desires, whatever it may be. you can sort of read one another's mind just by being in proximity. All right, oh, well, come on. You got to talk about, I don't know this plant. Does this plant actually have a name? I just call it the Little Shop plant. And it's not Seymour. This is Seymour. Rick Moranis is Seymour. So here's an interesting concept, right? Let's just say that plants do grow to be, gigantic in size, like I speculate that they will, and they do. And we remain, those of us who survive, for the most part, our normal size, like Rick Moranis over here at 5 foot nothing. I also love Rick Moranis in Ghostbusters and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Interesting, right? Could they all be connected? I think so. Anyway, let's say Rick Moranis is normal size. Now, let's say that Rick Moranis is in the post-apocalyptic world. Forget all of the modern, stuff that you see in the picture here. But pretend that he decides that he wants to study this plant. But he knows that from time to time, this plant right here gets hungry. And it'll start reaching out its tendrils and it'll wrap around whatever it finds. It'll grab it and it'll eat it. But he also knows that it takes a long time for this plant to digest. So maybe he comes up with an idea that every once in a while he'll just feed the plant. He'll just feed it. That way he can appease it and allow it all this time to digest while he studies it and learns its secrets. Or whatever he decides to do with that time. I'm just saying. That's a possibility. It's a possibility that may have already happened and may happen again. And in the in-between time, we'll make movies. We'll write books and make movies. What's this from? This is literally a tree eating a person. This is from the Poltergeist. Remember how I showed you that tree reaching in and grabbing him? It's eating a person. Now, a lot of people might not imagine a tree as being, some sort of creature or plant that eats people. However, what kind of trees are there, right? What kind of trees are there? What kind of trees have there been that are no longer around? I think there's a lot of kinds. I'm going to show you a few examples, actually. Check this guy out. That's a leaf. If you can believe that, it's a leaf. Wrapped around, like that's a leaf. Oh my God. Our world will become a sylvan world if all of this goes down the way I think it might. It's designed to. Right now we have little growth, minimal growth, even death and decay all over the place. But once the world is filled with life, boom, everything grows. Everything flourishes. Life itself flourishes. Check this guy out. These are real pictures, not photoshopped. I did my diligence in finding accurate pictures, okay? You don't have to believe it, it's fine. But it looks good. It looks pretty good. That's a gigantic flower, okay? So whenever you see all these movies and cartoons and stuff where people are shrinking and all of a sudden the wildlife gets way bigger and this and that, maybe they're telling you something with a hint of truth. Maybe there's something to that. How about this guy? People would never show this in school. If anybody showed this and taught these types of anomalous things, they just do it like you're at the circus. Like you went to a carnival and you're looking at a sideshow with no real scientific intention or philosophic thought at all. You're simply there to be amused. Most of us go, what? Wow, look at that. What? That's crazy. Oh, wow. Look at that. That's crazy. Wow. But we can't get past that. Yes, it's crazy. Wow, it's different. Wow, amazing. I see such beauty beyond that and so many other questions. Well, I see questions worth asking, actually. But to me, this is the world speaking to us. This is a sign. It's an omen. It's a leftover piece of information from times past. This right here is the tomato. Tomatoes. Okay, all of our fruit and vegetables in our world, for those of us who survive and make it, let's just say that we don't, get much bigger in size. Well, if our vegetation does, however long it takes for that vegetation to grow, I'd say you're taken care of like for quite some time. This little guy right here, that's going to be 3 days of plenty of nourishment. One tomato. Now, this is that crazy plant I wanted to show you guys. Okay, first of all, this reminds me of many different things, okay? But first and foremost, Okay, I know some people are thinking of like Stranger Things when the flower face the demigorgon thing opens up. Hey, definitely, I see the symbolism there. Uh, I don't see the symbology there. I just want to throw that out there. A lot of people are using these words in interesting ways, but I see the symbolism there, right? Because it's symbolic. The symbology is something that we do. We study symbols. It's the study of symbolism. Yeah, I just want to throw that out there to help you out. But this guy right here, there's this old movie. I'm gonna get right to it, and I think I have a clip. But there's this old movie called Beastmaster. Oh my god, it's awesome. First of all, the dude can talk to animals. Boom, you got telepathy, right? Post-apocalyptic world. He kind of looks like He-Man. I don't know. It used to be like one of my favorite movies. I haven't seen it in a long time. I might watch it tonight. But there's these bad guys on that movie that are these weird-looking creature things that have these sort of capes or something. They wrap them around you, and then they wriggle around, and when they open up, bones fall down. Like they just digested you or something. Which kind of reminds me of these plants right here. So... you know, things that make me go, Also, the tall grass. Don't go into the tall grass. I don't know why that's so tiny. Why is that so tiny? Let's make it gigantic. Don't go into the tall grass. The tall grass is what you'll see in the world, okay? Many places will have patches and patches of gigantic, huge grass. And a lot of times, like in Jurassic Park or something, we just take that for granted and say, oh, you know, it's prehistoric grass. It's just grass that, you know, it's prehistoric dinosaur grass. No, it's just real grass that grows real big because of the circumstances they've changed in the world that we live in and enables everything to grow to gigantic proportions. But some people have already grown to those proportions in the prior world and have reached their maximum. So they're brought into this world where everything flourishes, grows gigantic. Now they seem tiny in a giant world. And the tall grass is just symbolic of the post-apocalyptic world going into like the red sky. Oh, this is one of my favorite ones, okay? So this is from The Wizard of Oz. By the way, oh my god, I just watched and if you want to get my attention in the chat, type in @JDreamers, that way it highlights it. Oh, you have been. Shoot, where's the chat? Hold up. Let me pop. I got to pop out the chat properly. I got to properly pop out the chat. Pop out chat. Boom. All right. There's like a couple different chats here. Sorry about that. All right. I'm actually going to take a quick pause, jump into the chat, and address some of these comments real quick because I didn't see them. All right. So, welcome to I Am Karen and Awakened Reality and Mother Dragon. Stare Down with a Mannequin says, J Dreamers, very cool that this is the topic on the day that we finished the beginning of our gardening project. Yeah, synchronicity. I agree. It is very cool. Let's see. The Venus Flytrap. Yep. Jama Barker. Oh, I think that was it. All right, sweet. That was totally it. All right. So anyways, I was freaking out because I just watched Return to Oz. Okay. Now, The Wizard of Oz gets all the credit. Like, oh, so classic, and it's, you know, such a marvel of its time, and this and that. But the Return to Oz, I'm going to tell you right now, it's cheesy, okay? It doesn't have the production value that this one does, kind of. It's very cheesy looking, because it's a lot of bad side of Oz. Nobody wants to see the bad side of Oz, right? I do. I want to see it. I'm in it right now, so I want to see it. Anyway, it's so interesting, because these are the trees that come to life. Why are these trees alive? Right? Why are they moving about and they're saying, hey, you know, don't take that. You didn't even ask for it or whatever. Like, because Dorothy has left Earth. She has gone to our sister world where they're experiencing an influx of energy because their plasma volcano, their Mount Meru, is filling their world with energy right now. And one day it'll pop and reverse. That energy will come our way. Then our world will fill up, etc. She left this world, went through a vortex, the Sipapu in the sky, the Nibiru, the sky entrance. Excuse me. A lot of people have been asking me about Nibiru lately as well. I might have to add a Nibiru section to my webpage, I guess. Anyhow, Dorothy goes through the vortex, lands in the other world, actually floats down to the other world. If that really happened, all right, like given our current world situation, she would be dead, right? She would have slammed into the ground with her house. The witch under her would be dead. She would have been squished, okay? the reason she wasn't is because they were just experiencing their plasma apocalypse, and everything was falling down to their world, which means it was floating because gravity is restored slowly over time. If you want to call it gravity, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, so these trees are alive. She can hear them and talk to them because now she's in Oz, the land of the strong life. Okay, Oz literally means strong or strength. Okay, what is it that's strong? I believe it's the power of the world. The world itself is strong. It's a strong world. They come from Oz, the strong world, the world that's strong with life. So therefore, she has telepathy. She can communicate. She may not even realize it. She might not even know it. All right, let me see what else we got. Let's see. Where did it go? Pictures. Oh my God, this one's so good. Okay, hold on. I actually have something that goes along with this. This right here is a little drawing from a book that was published, I don't know, 100 years ago or something. I'm just guessing. Super old book, all right? Easily found on the internet. That's how I found it. This is from the story or legend in, I believe, the midst of Africa and South America that tells the tale of a tree, okay? I'm going to use that term loosely because I don't know what it was. They called it a tree, all right? A tree of, I don't want to say tentacles. It does look like tentacles, though. But it was basically a killer tree. It was a carnivorous tree. And there are a couple of different tales. Basically, some people would actually feed this tree. And another tale, this tree only ate females for some reason or whatever. But basically, you have a real legend, a real account of a carnivorous tree that existed. Now, was it an actual tree like trees that we're used to with the roots and the branch and the green grass grows all around and around? I don't know. I had to say that. It's a super awesome song. No, maybe it wasn't. Because, I mean, how would a tree do that, right? But if there's truth to it, maybe it wasn't a tree the way that we see a tree. Maybe it was another leftover plant from the prior age that happened to get lucky, be in the right spot for a long time, and have plenty of people step into it. This one right here, it doesn't look like that all the time. It only looks like that when it catches somebody. See how there's like a person up there, and it's kind of holding them in there? That's one of the stories. I'll read it to you. But basically, before it catches somebody, it lays its vines, which is really what that is, vines, okay? It lays the vines down, it loosens up, and it relaxes. The second it feels agitation, it starts to wriggle, and it grabs whatever it is, and that's how it eats it. And this is a real story. Let me see if I can pull it up here. I want to actually pull this up. I'm going to take a quick pause. Actually, I'm gonna while I pull this up this new stuff, I'm going to go ahead and just do a little plug my book. My book, by the way. I wrote a book, by the way, for all 90 of you watching. If you want to check it out, feel free to. I'm working on putting a little piece of it on my website. But here's my book, Ancient Oblivion, The Plasma Apocalypse. All right. Okay. What a cheery tune. Oh my God. It's crazy because I love it. To me, it's delightful, even though it's it sounds kind of morbid if you don't understand the deeper great news about it. I love it. I get so into that. Anyway, so I actually have to come back here so that I can make a quick setting change so I can screen share with you. One moment. This is why I need a team now. See, there would be like cool team stuff happening. All right, let's see here. Oh, is that it? Boom. I think this is it. Wait. Boom. Ah! What happened? Hold on. I got it. I totally got this. I'm going to share my screen. If I can figure it out. Is that it? That is it. Ooh, fun stuff. All right. Now, hold on. Boom. I got to make that way bigger. Holy cow. I'm going to make it maximum bigness for your viewing pleasure. Maximum bigness. That's my Deadpool coming out. All right. So anyway, this is the book. Okay, this is literally just a screenshot from the book. I'll go ahead and just move this, scooch this over a bit so you can check it out as well. And I'll try to make it bigger on this side too. Whoa, that was way big. So, let's do this. Oops. I will figure this out. How do you do this? Maybe not. Maybe not. All right, forget it. I'll just read it. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to read. This is from a little book. All right, this is where the picture comes from. I'm just going to read it. Boom. Feel free to follow along. What's the book called? I don't know. I forgot. But it's, I'm going to buy this book. This book is like 700 pages long, and it explains all of these weird anomalies, sea creatures, plants, animals, all kinds of stuff, and it's an old book. Oh, it's my favorite kind of book. Oh my God, I love it. Like, this reminds me when I was a kid, when I was real young, a long time ago, before TV was super flat. Anyways, I used to read comics. Right? Like the actual comic strips in the newspaper. I didn't care about the rest of the newspaper whatsoever. I need the comics. Let me see the comics. Who has the comics? Like, do you have the comics? Oh, can I read it when you're done? Like, that's what I needed to see, was the comics. And in the comics where I grew up, they had a little awesome section called Ripley's Believe It or Not. And it just made my heart beat so hard. Like, I loved it. Oh man, there was a tale of these giant clams that lived towards the bottom of the sea, and people would go down there, divers would go down there, and they'd see this huge, or maybe it was oysters, giant oysters. They see this huge pearl or something, try to grab it, and it would go close up on them just like a Venus flytrap. Interesting stories. Anyway, all right, I'm off the topic. I gotta make this big so I can read it though. Okay, hold up. I got to go back a page, actually. How do you go back a page? Boom. There we go. Check that out. Flip the page. That was kind of cool. I want that. Do I have that from my website? All right. I actually do want to make this bigger, though. One sec. But how do I make it bigger? Let's scooch it over. Here we go. Ah, look at me learning. A man-eating plant. That's the part we're on. You see that? All right, sweet. All right, that's the best I can do. All right, travelers have told us of a plant which they assert grows in Central Africa and also in South America that is not contended with the myriad of large insects which it catches and consumes, but its voracity extends to making even humans its prey. This marvelous vegetable, minotaur, is represented as having a short, thick trunk from the top of which radiate giant spines, narrow and flexible, but of extraordinary tenaciousness, the edges of which are armed with barbs. Extraordinary tenaciousness, the edges of which are armed with barbs, or dagger-like teeth. Instead of growing upright or at an inclined angle from the trunk, these spines lay their outer ends upon the ground, and so gracefully are they distributed that the trunk resembles an easy couch with green drapery around it. Imagine that. The plant is pretending to be like a couch. I'm not saying it really is, but you can imagine, right? The unfortunate traveler, ignorant of the monstrous creation which lies in its way, and curious to examine the strange plant or to rest himself upon its inviting stalk, approaches without a suspicion of his certain doom. I'm sorry, his or her certain doom. You know, could be a chick that gets eaten by a plant. You never know. Anyway, let's see. The moment his feet are set, that's actually true. I mean, I sound like I'm joking, but totally true, right? Let's see. It could be a dog. Okay, it could be anything. I'm sure this plant's not too picky. The moment that the person's feet are set within the circle of the horrid spines, they rise up like gigantic serpents and entwine themselves about until he is drawn upon the stump, when they speedily drive their daggers into his body and thus complete the massacre. The body is crushed until every drop of blood is squeezed out of it and becomes absorbed by the gore-loving plant, when the dry carcass is thrown out and the horrid trap is set again. A gentleman of my acquaintance, who for a long time resided in Central America, affirms the existence of such a plant as I have here. Uno momento. There we are. Oh, sweet. Oh, almost. Oh, here we go. As I have here briefly described, except that instead of the filaments or spines resting on the ground, he says that they move themselves constantly in the air, like so many huge serpents in an angry discussion, occasionally darting from side to side as if striking at an imaginary foe. When their prey comes within reach of the spines reach out with wonderful sagacity, right? If I may be allowed to apply the expression to a vegetable creature, he's saying basically they knowingly are grabbing people, okay? Not just accidentally, but they're trying to grab people. They're doing it purposefully. Duh. Let's see here. And grasp it in an unyielding embrace from whence it issues only when the substance of its body is yielded up. In its action of exerting pressure upon its prey, this dreadful plant resembles the instrument used in the Dark Ages for inflicting a torturous death. It was made of 2 long iron cylinders on the inside, of which were sharp projecting pikes. The victim was placed inside, and the 2 cylinders then brought forcibly together, thus driving 100 or more of the pointed spikes into all parts of his body and producing a frightful death. Generally, this inquisitorial instrument was made somewhat crudely to represent a woman. Hence the name applied to it was the maiden, by which it is still known. Now, there are some plants that exhibit this same type of thing, and there's some symbolism when it comes to like movies and stuff that man-eating plants sort of typically represent the female, the maiden, right? In symbolism. So some will say that. All right, let's get to some interesting stuff, right? Boom. Wow, I can't even see that. Let me fix that. How do you fix that? Let's make it bigger. What did I do? No, that won't do. Let's scooch it over. Boom, that'll work. All right, cool. So I want to just go over some 10 great killer plant films, okay? So this is in the movies, right? One of them is, let's start off with The Thing from Another World. As you can see, these plants down here, there's little monster plants or whatever, man-eating plants. I'm not going to go over all of these. Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. This is like a vine, a rapid-moving vine that eats people. It doesn't eat people. It basically suffocates them, okay? It's not, I don't know if it's really trying to eat people. Some instances, it may be. They might be tendrils that are trying to bring you in closer to like a stomach-type part of it. But I think a lot of times these vines get a bad rap. I'm just going to be honest. I think if I was a vine, I'd just be wrapping around whatever I felt out there as well. You know what I mean? And people are not quick enough, so sucks for them, I guess. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978, right? This movie has like little pods that drop down, and basically, for me, it introduces 2 concepts, right? One, the plant apocalypse. I don't know what to call it, but you know, it's all the same. But the plant part of it, right? And also the zombie part of it. Because it says that basically these plants, these little seeds or whatever it was, I forgot what it was called, these little pieces of plants that fell onto the world, they were able to make pods that looked just like other people or whatever. Those would be like the zombies, because those people were just out of it, zonked out. They had no kind of whatever. To me, that represents the zombie apocalypse, which we're going to get to here in a bit too. The Evil Dead. Okay, so this is the scene where this tree is doing some messed up stuff to this chick. I'm going to skip that one because it's pretty gruesome. Then we also, of course, have the Little Shop of Horrors, right? With the piranha plant from Mario Brothers, right? That is like basically making Dark Helmet his slave. Then you got some Godzilla one. I don't want to get into that one too much. Little Otik. Now, this is a weird movie about a man and woman who take the stump of a tree and decide to raise it as a baby, and then they become super serious about it. But the thing is, the baby decides that the trunk of the tree decides over time in this movie that it wants human blood, basically, right? So, are there plants out there that people actually sacrificed to? I think so. A Girl with All the Gifts. This one's plant apocalypse oriented as well as Annihilation. It's got some killer plants in there. Annihilation's pretty cool because I like how it goes into like the sentientness of the plant. That plants are just like us, that they think, they act, they copy, they mimic. They want to be like, they don't want to be like. They don't like. This movie gets pretty deep into it. A lot of people didn't understand the movie. They're like, I don't get it. I don't know what that means. This movie's stupid. Okay, that's fine. I got a lot out of it. Especially like my relationship with the world and the energy that lies herein. Little Joe, this one's interesting too. So this one's about these little plants, these little red ones you see, that they're like designer plants. And so they are breeding them in order so that the plants could release this sort of chemical that makes people happy or euphoric. Also a plasma apocalypse piece, right? Whenever the nitrous oxide, the newly made nitrous oxide fills our world, just because of the chemical reactions of above and below and all the other stuff that's happening. See my video called My Plasma Chemical Romance for some more info on that. And I'll try to update that too. But anyways, so that's a part of it. When you see Black Hole Sun and everybody's smiling and laughing and people are happy even though the world's ending. And some people have literally like the laughing plague where they can't stop laughing because they're super high on nitrous oxide probably. Is my guess. But anyways, that's what this movie's about. And then these plants start defending themselves. And they start putting out this little toxin or whatever into the air that makes people docile. And just like they have no happiness, they have no sorrow, they have no sadness. That basically turns them kind of into thralls or zombies. So you also have sort of like hints at the zombie apocalypse in that one as well. This is the man-eating tree one. I'm going to skip that one. I already showed that one with you guys. Now check this one out, right? Hold on, let me make it bigger. Boom. The Day of the Triffids. I want to share this one in particular. Hold on. How do we scooch it? Can I scooch it? The Day of the Triffids. See it? That's a book, okay? Now this weird looking yellow thing right here, you see that? This is a Triffid. This is in the book. This is an old book. It came out in like 1951. It's a post-apocalyptic novel that basically is about there's these flashes in the sky, right? Flashes in the sky, and all the people that looked at the flashes went blind, right? So, strangely, after these people see these flashes in the sky, see those spiral there? See the spiral? Anyway, you've got all these blind people in the world, and then you've got the people that can see, also symbolic. But you also have these plants called the Triffids that they're able to move. They're mobile, okay? So they start moving about, and I haven't read the book. I'm just kind of going off of this, but I assume they're sort of killer plants. This book was the inspiration for the zombie movie 28 Days Later. This book is about plants in a post-apocalyptic world that are gigantic, that come to life, and have basically murderous intentions, okay? Now, will all of them have murderous intentions? I don't know. I think a lot of them are just trying to grow. Some of them are just trying to eat, right? Some of them will be very benevolent, I'm sure, and helpful, as they are today, in case you haven't looked. Thank you, plants. But anyway, let's continue on here. So that's an interesting book. This is Wikipedia of that same drawing. I was doing a lot of research on that drawing. Oh, this one's really interesting. Hold on, I need to make this one bigger before we go any further. This is a website called capsulamundi.it. Hold up. I'm going to make this bigger because you need to see this, okay? So, this website right here, basically when you die or when a person dies, they took your dead body and they put it into this sort of capsule of earth, this egg of earth, and then they put a seed of a tree on top of you, and then they go plant your ass in the ground and let a tree eat off of you as it grows, nourishing, so that you turn into a tree. Trust me, I love it. I love all the concepts that are there. Okay, I know I sound kind of, like I don't like it. I love it. I love everything, whatever. But when you plant a seed of a plant, a tree, whatever it is, and you allow it to feed off of the remains of a human body, please don't be surprised when the plasma apocalypse comes if all those little seeds and stuff and plants and whatever they are grow up wanting a little more, wanting some more of that nourishment that they grew up with, aka you, blood, human sacrifice. I'm just saying, it's possible, okay? Isn't that interesting? To me, that's the reoccurring fractal verse that we live in too. Wouldn't it be interesting if all of these things that we hear from echoes of times past are actually things that we ourselves are creating now and we give to the future, which becomes the times past? Anyway, it's really interesting. All right. Let's see. So I thought that was really interesting. If you want to check it out, that one's called capsulamundi.it. Basically, they will let a plant eat you to let it grow. All right. Oh, this is my website. Hey, welcome to my website. Let's talk about zombies now. Right? Does anybody have any questions about plants? Basically, plants get gigantic. They grow. They're dangerous. Don't think you could just, walk up to any old plant out there and just do whatever you want. Please approach the new world with caution. Okay? And learn and have fun. By all means, have fun. God, have a great time. Have a blast. But be careful. Be careful and brave. That's my recommendation. All right, so let's talk about zombies now. We have talked about how the influx of plasma comes into our world and not only allows telepathy with plants or vice versa, and it allows them to grow to titanic heights. Some of those plants I showed you earlier are actually named after titans, like that gigantic flower. But that plasma that fills our world, that energy that comes down from above and fills our world from within, that energy will also bring about what is known as the zombie apocalypse. It's a portion of the plasma apocalypse, okay? So what we have here, I want to start off with what we know so we can build a bridge. What do we already know? We already know there's lots of tales of zombies. There's lots of fictional zombies, that zombies are portrayed as not being real, but something that's interesting to throw in there to kind of scare us because we know it's not really real. We know that part. Let's think about what we know as far as how it could be real. Well, first and foremost, let's see how far we're willing to go. Can you admit to yourself that there have been people that have died and seconds later came back to life? Yes. Okay, good. Can you admit to yourself that there have been instances where people have died and come back to life hours later? Yes. Could you research and find out the same way that I have, that there have been many anomalous incidents where people have died and come back to life days later, waking up in morgues, waking up in graves, waking up in sanctuaries and other weird places where they were thought to be and left for dead? You will find that if you look, because I did. So, the question is, how's this possible? Is that a zombie? Is that a zombie if your grandma died and then 10 minutes later came back to life? No, of course not. She's resurrected. Well, what's the difference between the resurrected and a zombie? A lot of people are hoping that, like, if there is a zombie apocalypse, that their loved ones will be brought back and this and that. I'm sorry, but that's not what a zombie is. A zombie's possessed. A zombie is not who you thought it once was. A zombie is a brand new person born into an existing dead body. a new being, okay? Now, unfortunately, there's a lot of side effects that come along with putting energy into a less than perfect model, we'll say. Brain damage, missing arms and legs, and stuff that needs time to regrow or grow back or whatever. There's a lot of stuff that happens, okay? It's not a great life being a zombie, I would imagine. So, this is from my website. If you're curious, this is jdreamers.com. Feel free to come check it out. Our world experienced an influx of energy on a worldwide scale, granting temporary immortality to the living and life to the dead. Electromagnetic energy in various forms poured into our realm from above, seeking to ground itself to the soil, following the invisible currents of the world. Hey, Drew! Drew just joined up. Oh, also, I just want to throw this out there, too, because it says something weird about that. Anyways, I'm changing all of my, membership tiers. Basically, all members will be able to join the chat, and you get a loyalty badge. Anything else is just, you just want to show support. So I just made all these different tiers. There's not a lot of rewards or anything, so if you just want to support me, hey, I love that, and it inspires me to continue and to do more, so thank you. And welcome, Drew. I like your beard. Once you go beard, man, I don't know. I feel I don't want to be a kid, you know? I feel like I'm a kid. When I shave it off, I feel something's different. Anyways, all right, so let's get back to my website here. So energy fills our world. Some energy reinvigorated the regenerative process, resetting and at times rewriting available genetic coding. Within several underground catacombs, the perfectly laid bones of the prestigious dead began to rattle, seemingly pulling themselves together and dancing about like magnetic Mexican jumping beans. They don't have to be Mexican either. They just be any beans that jump. You can just put any country you want. I'm just kidding. You guys are fun. The energy coursing through the ground ran through the bones and the corpses of those who had been placed there for that exact same reason. So, let me throw something out there for you. Steeples. This is my steeple theory, okay? Why do you see steeples? Why do you have them? Okay, no one's ever going to give you an answer that makes any kind of sense. It's not a storage area, okay? It's for exactly what you see, boom, right there. It's to draw the attention of the plasma, the lightning, the light that fills our world with life. That's why Frankenstein, when he was pulled up and brought to life, he was on this metal cage in a lightning storm, which is the plasma apocalypse, and he symbolizes all the different dead bodies all together. And the lightning itself struck him and filled him with spirit. He was now a spirit-filled being, okay? I don't want to get too much into Frankenstein. That's actually here on the website, and it's at the bottom. Let's scroll down a bit. So basically, the lightning hits, boom, the steeple. The steeple's built a holy site that's built on top of a graveyard, basically, that is where they have catacombs. Okay, not really a graveyard, they're more catacombs. They have catacombs for their prestigious dead, which they hope to reinvigorate one day by burying them directly beneath one of these bad boys. So that's why churches have steeples. Let's see. Perhaps this is why so many holy sites have a steeple, obelisk, tower, tombstone over where they bury their dead. This is from Adam's Family. Wake the dead! Wake the dead! I love that part. Oh my God, I love it. Because it's totally true. Those who are fortunate enough to have been dead for only a few hours or days jolted to life. Can you imagine that? Just imagine the deepest sleep you've ever been in and somebody just suddenly waking you up and asking you to be aware. You're still alive and it's going to take you some time to snap out of it. Imagine people who've been dead, right? Sitting up in their caskets and walking out of sepulchres. Their strength contained the same overpowered muscles from the stronger electromagnetic pull and the pressure of the world that they once saw. Some regrew limbs and other bodily tissues as their stem cells, DNA, and RNA were amplified, reset, and/or refreshed. Some seemed healthy. Many seemed stunned. Many were blind, feeling about with their arms outstretched. Some were still healing. Some could only heal so much. Some could run. Many moved about stiffly. Others crawled. Few could speak or remember how to. Many had complete amnesia. A great many became instantly plasma possessed, seeking to eliminate those with unwanted energy signatures. Maybe that's why people usually die in horror flicks after or while doing drugs, being promiscuous, insulting other people, etc., and so on and so forth. There might be a grain of truth there. Hordes of thirsty, hungry, blind, brain-damaged, stiff, confused, and possessed bodies wandered about on basic instincts and direction from the plasma that took control of their brains with a hive mind type of cohesion and purpose. Daydreamers, the future and the past. Over here, you're going to have clear references to zombies in the Bible. Okay, so the Bible super supports the concept of the dead rising. It's all over it. I'm not going to get into it. You can read it on the website if you want to. Ooh, this is really interesting. So check this out. Right here. Remember how I said, see the coffins? Okay, so those coffins hold dead people. I know a lot of people are always wondering, like, I always wondered why they put people in boxes when bury them. Like, isn't that counterproductive? Doesn't that just not make any kind of sense? Like, if anything, you want to put the people into the ground so they're biodegradable. They go back into the earth, right? Not save a little space for them underground so that they can open up the door and come back. That's why that's done. Because our world liquefies during worldwide earthquakes, okay? These coffins and stuff, if they're in areas that get liquefied or liquefaction and the world's just shaking and it turns real muddy and stuff, they'll just pop right up. They'll just float right to the top, right? They'll just go right to the top. Boom. They'll just float right up to the top. Anyway, here's a really interesting video. Actually, you know what? I'm going to tease you guys. I'm not going to play this one. You could probably find it on YouTube. I did. This is just a link to it. But this is a real funeral with a real coffin and a real window on that coffin while people are giving a eulogy. And if you look closely, you will actually see a person inside of it put their hand up on the glass and move. Now, they try to explain it in the video like, oh, yeah, that happens all the time. Yeah, it's, just twitches. It's just the body twitching and it's, it's trying to finish its dying or whatever. Nah, bruh, you got to open that. Like, that blows my mind. That video is like, you got to open that, man. If you saw that, you definitely got to open that. Or don't. I mean, it's up to you. Let's see, what else do we got here? Oh, yes. So when it comes to zombies, this is a little less Plants vs. Zombies or whatever. I don't know. But you see these weird creatures right here? Okay. They're made from humans. Okay. This head right here, this is from a movie. All right. But there's still truth to it. There are weird beings, alien creatures and diseases and all kinds of stuff that enter into this world during this event. Okay. And I don't tell you guys the scary stuff all the time. I try to balance it out with the good news too. It's just that when I'm talking about the scary stuff, I'm not scared of it. I'm not afraid. Okay? I think it is scary. Like, trust me. If I ever saw some walking upside down head spider phanazoid T-virus infected looking dude, I'm going to freak out and I'm going to go into survival mode and probably kick it harder than I've ever kicked anything in my whole life. I'm gonna be honest, okay? If that thing started crawling towards me, that's what's gonna happen. Probably. I don't know. It depends. I'm gonna have to react, okay? You gotta be careful and brave. Anyway, what happens is reanimation happens in our world. It reanimates everything. Reanimates toys or animates toys. Reanimates the dead, all the bodies, all the corpses, anything that still has the signature of life will be turned on, I believe. So far, based on my studies, so far. Could be wrong, could be right. So, even if you were to cut off somebody's head during the height of this energy influx, you'd have a talking head. You would literally have a talking head. Because it's not going to die. How do you die? You have to lose your energy. What if you can't lose your energy? You don't die. That's just the way it is. You're immortal. So you might want to be careful and take care of that body and watch out for infected zombies that will be walking about, stumbling about, and they're easy prey and food for those things that come into this world and for the plants. Imagine this. Forget about the T-virus and all the infected ones, basically, right? That's just parasitic for the most part, okay? So it's parasitic on top of, not being able to die. So we'll come back to that one. Check out my website if you'd like to. There's also some instances in the Quran. That's what this is right here, of zombies and stuff. Ooh, this one right here is the CDC. I don't know if you guys have been to this, but I put the CDC's webpage here. And you can scroll through and you can read the Center for Disease Control's actual zombie preparedness webpage, where they have an entire portfolio on how to literally survive zombies in the zombie apocalypse. I thought that's interesting. I also feel that it's interesting that they have this government document from the Department of Defense that also plans for a zombie apocalypse. It also plans for a zombie invasion. I put that on my website as well, so if you want to go over, look, let's see, where does it say here? Zombies. Oh, I want to read the first thing to you. I want to read the first thing, right? Because a lot of times they'll say like, yeah, we're just joking or whatever. Look at the first words in this. This plan was not actually designed as a joke. Boom. That's letting you know everything after this that you read, even though it may sound like it's a joke, it's not. That is your disclaimer. But it says it right there. So, it's up to you. They're letting you know from the start. That's all there. There's probably like 30-something pages there of all this zombie preparedness, how to fight zombies, how to survive zombies, whatever, from the military. Now, here's what I like to ask. Is it ethical to kill a zombie? Like, you know what I mean? I feel like too many people are I feel like people are a little too eager to get out there and just start killing zombies. Bro, if I came back to life, I'm just saying, and I'm like, I just fucking woke up, help, or whatever, and somebody starts trying to attack me, WTF? Like, bro, what? What are you doing? I'm just saying, there's always anomalies. So before you get all gung-ho Chuck Norris on zombies, please make sure that they're actually pose a danger or something. I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to at all. I'm just saying you reap what you sow. Be careful. You might go nuts and be like, yeah, zombie. Easy one. But you just made a bunch of noise, which attracted all these phanazoids that are now rushing to your group and are going to slaughter you and your whole area. I'm just saying, be a little wise, okay? Anyway, let's see. Oh, here's my tips. You want some tips on killing zombies if you do decide to kill the zombies? If you need to, I will. If they're putting my life in danger. Not only that, here's my. I want to give. I don't know what's on this list yet. I'm okay. I can't remember everything I put on here. But first and foremost, if you don't have to, you might not need to. So just keep that in mind, okay? Sometimes it's wise not to do something. All right. So let's see here. During the time of no death on Earth, set traps for containing or restraining zombies. This also could apply to phanazoids as well, all right? So it might be a little easier to contain them and trap them instead of trying to kill them during an age or an era or a time when you can't actually kill anything. You could chop somebody's hand off and it would still be full of life and it'd still be a hand and it would still be moving or whatever. Maybe it's twitching, maybe it's sentient, I don't know. I'm just saying trapping might be a better idea than trying to kill during that time. Always avoid infection by close contact. There's some truth to this, okay? First of all, I don't think that it's like we cartoonified it to be like, oh, if a zombie bites you, you're going to turn into a zombie because now you got zombie disease. It could be. It very well could be. But I think more realistically, the zombies are easy prey for those other creatures that come down into our world. They're fast food. Like the plants, the phantazoids, all this stuff is going to have like all kinds of supply of food to eat with all these zombies and resurrected dead walking around all angry or whatever. So they could be infected. Some phanazoid could have bit them and put their young inside of them or something, and now they're growing extra body parts and all kinds of weird stuff. And you don't want to get their sickness. You don't want to get their infection or whatever. So don't get close to them. Don't let them scratch you and bite you and all that stuff. A headshot may work to kill zombies in video games, but just like a chicken with its head cut off, the head and the body will continue to animate, perhaps with less purpose and or sense. full of purpose and sense while they are in an amplified endoplasmic state. So basically, you can cut off their heads and stuff. You're just, just be careful. Like, it might still be able to move, basically, just on instinct alone. The Bible seems to indicate a period of 5 months before the time of no death comes to an end. That is how long I would guess that we'd have to hide, survive, and endure before venturing out and exploring. Please do be careful. It is fun. It's definitely going to be an adventure, but please be cautious. Be wise. Let's see here. So we should hide and survive and endure where it's necessary before venturing out and exploring, because trying to fight an entire plasma-possessed army of undead world of creatures that cannot die doesn't sound pleasing to most. Me? I would love to. Sign me up. Feed me, clothe me, share some water with me, and I'll take care of your local Phanazoid issue while I explore the new world. For sure. I feel like every single movie on the subject is basically a survival guide, right? On zombies specifically. Now imagine this. I want to bring it back to the plants versus zombies thing. So not just zombies are basically fodder for the plants, right? Zombies are out there. If they're anything like I would imagine, they're meat eaters, okay? So first of all, they might not even be out there trying to eat the plants. I don't know. They could be. But the plants are the big ones that need extra nourishment now, all of a sudden, because of their gigantic size and their, what do you call it? Their bodily functions, like on overdrive. Like they need to eat more, basically, just like an elephant, I would imagine. So these plants are just welcoming zombies left and right. Like, yes, zombie, all-you-can-eat buffet, bring it. Like, that's what I imagine. Let's see here. What do we got? Oh, I do want to stress a couple of things. Can I highlight this? This is a literal, actual, worldwide zombie event. Now, this is my perspective, okay? So you can believe whatever you want. Okay, I'm saying this, when I talk about it, this is what I'm talking about. And I also see the symbolism, and I see all the other stuff that many other people talk about. But I'm talking literally. How is this happening? How has it happened, and how will it happen? Literally. It is not witch doctors manipulating ectoplasm to direct it into and trap it in a body, resuscitating the body of the recently dead, reactivating the electromagnetic field of the body, trapping the ectoplasmic buildup within. Or however it's done. It's not that. That's not what I'm talking about. Does that happen? I'm pretty sure it does. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a worldwide zombie apocalypse. It is not a complete fabrication for entertainment. It wouldn't be entertaining unless there was truth to it. Right? Like, we all know, all of our religions tell us, there is a resurrection of the dead. The dead will be resurrected. The dead will come back to life. You must be born again. All kinds of stuff that hints at resurrection, coming back to life. I believe in it. I think there's a lot of evidence out there for it. Now, what does it look like? That's the question. That's the fun part. You get to answer that. That's your perspective. Let's see. It is not due to a viral outbreak, although that would add to the zombie population. Because more people dying means more people resurrected. More people coming right back to life, right? So, no, I don't believe it's due to some sort of virus that just turns people into brain eaters and this and that. There's lots of stuff out there that's possible. And anything's possible. And everything's possible. And there's always a way. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about dead people coming back to life. And you will say, I see dead people. They're everywhere. Because you will, and there will be. Anyway, let's see here. This is one of the oldest depictions of zombies that I could find. I forgot what this is from. I want to say it's Babylonian or something, but this is just zombies. Like people that are just eating other people. Not cannibals. These are literally zombies. I did the research. Let's see here. What else do we got? Oh, that's what it's from. I put it in here. The Epic of Gilgamesh. Is that what it is? This is a quote from the Epic of Gilgamesh. It's one of the oldest writings that we have, allegedly. I will knock down the gates of the netherworld. I will smash the doorposts and leave the doors flat down. And I will let the dead go up to eat the living, and the dead will outnumber the living. Tablet 6 from the Epic of Gilgamesh, which might not just be a story. So, does this mean that they're all lost? I like to believe that there's always exceptions and anomalies. Take Frankenstein, for example. He seems to have a moral conflict, doesn't he? He seems to understand that he wants to do good. There seems to be a struggle there. I could go into that all day long. I'll allow you guys to check out the website if you'd like to. For now, let me go ahead and stop screen sharing. We'll go back to my pictures real quick. Boom. Yes. Boom. Yes. All right, sweet. Hey! What's up to everybody in the chat? Drew, Jama Barker, Awaken Reality, Lori. Hey, what's up, Lori? KB, I saw you in there. All right, so let's check out some more pictures. I know I kind of took like a quick thing. This is from the movie In the Tall Grass. As you can see, not only is the grass like gigantic, but it can move about, okay? It moves a lot faster on the macrocosmic scale, I guess. I don't know, when it's bigger. This is from Minority Report, right? This lady was talking to her plants, and she was giving the guy an example of how they will attack if they're threatened because they're sentient, and she talks to them. Oh my God. This is Mark Wahlberg in the movie The Happening. I love this. Hold on. I love this for so many reasons. Let me make it bigger. First of all, I love that Mark Wahlberg's this tough guy. This rapper, ex-rapper tough guy that has like the gentlest voice in the whole world. Like, I just love that about him. He's talking to this plant. In the movie The Happening, if you don't know, basically the plants are seen as being deadly throughout the whole movie, okay? Like, for some reason, they all start communicating and they decide, screw mankind, and they start making mankind do weird stuff like commit suicide and kill one another or whatever. I don't know. I don't remember a lot of it. But that's true. That's the stuff that happens, okay? It says in the Bible, it says in the Quran, it says in many other religious books that there's going to be a time coming when people will wish that they were dead. They'll try to kill themselves, but they won't be able to because there is an energy influx in our world. And in this movie, he's trying to be extra nice to the plants because the plants seem to kind of be killing everybody off. It's not that the plants are purposefully joining together with a human mindset and saying, enough of this crap, guys. Let's kill all of humanity. Come on. It's not the Illuminati. It's not the plants. Okay. It's nature. It's nature doing what it does. Mark Wahlberg doesn't know what's going on, so he's just being super careful. He starts talking to this plant in the house and he's like, we're just here to use the bathroom. Then we're just going to leave. I hope that's okay. Or however he talks, right? And then he realizes like, oh man, I'm talking to like a plastic plant. And then this is plants coming to life, symbolism. Okay, it's symbolic. Possibly. In the movie In the Tall Grass. Okay, these are the killer plants because this being, whatever it is, grass face, goes around killing the inhabitants of the maze. As you can see in the tall grass, right? Plants versus Zombies. I find this super interesting that they decided. I have this game. I bought it. Okay, it's actually super fun. And I like being the plants more. But they put a TV, and they called him TV Head. So one of the main characters in the Plants vs. Zombie video game is a zombie that has a TV over his head. So I'm not going to get too deep into that. I would love to just let you guys ponder that and let that marinate in there for a little while, that the zombie has a TV on his head. That's all I'm going to say about it. Now check this out. Plants that can grow to gigantic size. This is a lily pad today. Whoa, hold up. Let me make this bigger. All right. There we go. One moment, please. There we go. Now check out the size of this lily pad, okay? This plant, whatever you want to call it, it's a lily pad, basically. To me, it's a lily pad. I don't care what you call it. It's floating on top of the water. It's gigantic. It's way bigger. It's a leaf. Basically, it's a water leaf. And it's way bigger than the dude, okay? If actually, people can walk on top of these, okay? You can put people right there, and they can just walk on top of them. That's how gigantic they are. They create enough buoyancy in the water for full-grown people to just be on them. All right, now I want to show you a fast forward motion of a vine and what a vine looks like when you're not looking, okay? It's searching. This is what vines do. Don't get mad at vines just because in the movie they wrap around things and suffocate people or whatever. Hey, that's your fault, dude. You should have been watching where you were going. Don't step into the vines. Watch out. Be careful. Be cautious, you know, and might want to have, you know, some kind of weapon or something too. But hey, this is just a vine doing what it does. It doesn't say, oh, where's the evil post? Where's the evil post? There's the evil post, and starts trying to kill the evil post. It's just trying to move. It's just trying to grow. It's trying to grab onto stuff. And when it does, it wraps around it. There's going to be a lot of giant vines and stuff. I think it's interesting that we have vines now in our modern terminology, finding its way back into the vernacular. But yeah, it's not the vine's fault. It's just being a vine. So if it's wrapping around you and all that type of stuff, give it space. Watch out for the vines. This is a real plant. Check out this flower. This is one of the world's biggest plants. Okay, that's a real flower. I hear it doesn't smell too good. I hear it has a particular odor to it. But look at that. And look how this little girl's just sticking her arm right up in it. I would not don't do that. It's a bad idea. I don't think that's a good idea. It's really big. Be careful. Be more careful than that. I don't know. I'm just saying I feel like if I was there, I'd be like, hey, no. Don't put your hand in the plant. Like, get the hand out of the plant right now. That would just be my first inclination. This guy's got a leek, aka an onion. All right, it's a different kind of onion. Look how gigantic that is. That's in our world today with the conditions that we have in our world today. This guy's okay. Don't worry. He's wearing a mask. So, if you happen to see that one, feel free to shake his hand. Then we got this is a good view. This is just, you know, symbolic, but this is zombies, the dead, the deceased becoming plasma possessed. With the red eyes, which is usually why you see the red eyes in the movies and stuff, because their spirit is over amplified. Oh, this is from Beastman. This is what I was telling you about. Remember how we saw that plant, the cobra, what was it called? The cobra plant or whatever? Looks just like this dude in Beastman, or Beastmaster, I mean, right? These weird looking dudes, they're like giant plants, and they just go whoosh, and they grab somebody, and then they wrestle around inside of them, and then just drop them down because they digested them. That's the plant type thing that we were talking about when we were talking about that book with the plants that walked around or whatever. That was it. Let me take this down. I want to jump in the chat for a bit, see what you guys think. Boom. What do you guys think anyway? Did you enjoy it? I don't mean to say guys, by the way. I hate that's from my son watches a lot of YouTube of box fort people or whatever it is, which is great. But oh my God, that's all I hear them say. Guys, hey guys. I'm like, stop it. Like, there's a lot of male energy in our world today. So we project that out into the world. It's okay. It's all changing. So yeah, Beastmaster, right? I might watch that tonight. That's a good flick. I love those older ones from like mid 80s, you know. There's also another really cool one, Free Jack. Oh my God, have you guys seen Free Jack? That's so good. Yeah, definitely check out the Epic of Gilgamesh. If you do, you'll see a lot. You'll see how like a lot of modern day movies and stories pretty much follow the same timeline. It's the age-old quest to find eternal life. And I think it's one worth taking. Anyhow, this has been my presentation. I just wanted to share this with you. I was really excited about the Plants vs. Zombies. I wondered what was going on with it. I saw it and it resonated with me and I didn't understand it because it looks so ridiculous. It's such an opposing concept. Plants are going to eat zombies for some reason. I had to make sense of that. like I had to figure that out, basically. I had to reconcile that because that to me was just the language of the world speaking to me. Letting me know, hey, here's a clue, right? So that's what I do. I hope you guys got something out of that. What else? Oh, hey, let's talk about my next video. I don't know what I'm going to title it, but basically it's going to be about the blue moon. So, once in a blue moon. I might just call it that because that's literally what it's going to be about. It's going to be interesting. Until next time, I'm Jay Dreamers saying good vibes. And goodbye. Thanks for watching.